The market is almost moving up and down right now, not really in a constant trend up or down. We do got momentum to the upside a little bit, but we also have chances of it making new lows. With that being said, we got some news. We got a stock that hit almost 400% that you guys should look into. I mean, you can see it back down to the downside, of course, but with some good news with that. And we got some other news with car companies and even Apple and Nvidia and AMD. They're making a little bit of a rebound too. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later too, with some good news that they have going on. But with that being said, look at Ford and GM to the upside, because we did just get a little bit of relief to say. We did just get auto stocks pop as Trump says he's looking at something to help car companies with tariffs. So maybe we might see the same thing we've seen with Apple, kind of a little bit of maybe just a 20% tariff on vehicles, which can bring the stocks back up, because people are looking at, almost 150 for some countries, China, and then probably even higher tariffs with car companies. So this can bring car companies up, and then we can even get a little bit of a reciprocal back, maybe with like 20% back with other countries that are giving us higher tariffs. So with that being said, some stocks to look at is Ford and GM to the upside. We did just get a big jump upwards, but as we seen yesterday with Apple, when we got that news, we did have a big jump upwards. We broke past that 200 level that we couldn't break past before, and we went up to that 210 to that 212 level, but we did just get a downtrend the next day. So look at that with these stocks too, like Ford. We might even get Ford back down to like, that $9 level. You can buy a little put option, but I'm not saying 100% do that, because we don't have 100% news. This is kind of just like him saying that we might. So honestly, if we do get better news, we might even see Ford up at that $10 to $12 level to say. But just be very, very patient. Wait for news to come out, and you can see Ford and GM jump up. Tesla didn't really move that much, but everybody really knows that Tesla, honestly, like all the cars that they sell in the US is kind of they're like they don't really have tariffs basically, except for the cars that they sell in China. They have some cars in China. I think the Model S, I think, and another one that they sell in China, but it's a US made car. Then they ship it over to China. But that's really just China's tariffs that really affects that. So if we can get some better news with that, they might get more sales. But with that being said, taking a US car out of China can bring down sales for Tesla. So keep that on your mind. Tariff wars to hit popular US made drugs in China. So if you guys are invested in AZN, SAN, GSK, Lilly, all of these stocks can drop down, especially if the prices go higher. And honestly, I mean, if a tariff gets affected, it's going to bring the stock down, of course. So look at these to the downside, especially if you guys have some long term. We got some good news with AMD. So they're going to produce its CPU chip at TSMC plant in Arizona. So kind of just more on the US side. They're trying to produce more, and then seeing AMD moving a little bit more, you might even see AMD stock go up. Right now we're trading at that $94 level. I remember when we broke below that $100 level a few weeks ago. But with that being said, to the upside, I'll be looking at that 97 to that $100 level. And if we can break above that $100 level, look at 105 to 110. To the downside, for some reason, if we get, some bad news or some bad chip news, you can look at it to the downside. I'll look at 92, 87.6, and that $80 level all the way down there. We're going to look at some other levels for Tesla, SPY, and other stocks a little bit later, but just let's get some more news. So we got some good news with Netflix. So they aim to double the revenue by 2030. Their target is 1 trillion by target in 2030, and then their goal to hit 9 billion in ad revenue by 2030, which is insane. So you guys know, like before, Netflix was all just like a purchase program, but now it's like a cheaper plan. Basically, you pay $5 and you just get ads basically on Netflix. So their revenue can go up higher, especially if you get the cheaper plan. Me personally, I'm probably I'd rather spend the extra money than watch ads, but it just really just depends. So most active stocks: Nvidia, Ford, Palantir, Apple, Tesla, of course, the basic ones. I do recommend looking at Palantir still. I think we're at 93 yesterday. We dropped down $1, but we are still up a decent amount on all these stocks. Pretty green. We have the Meta antitrust trial. It resumes, so keep Meta on your radar for the up or downside. It is down 3%. And to say, if we go back to the most active stocks, you got all these stocks, Palantir, Apple, and Tesla in the green. You got Meta down, so you can see Meta to the downside, maybe make some downside plays for that. But just keep news and everything on your mind and on your radar for Meta. So another thing with it, so Nissan to cut Japanese production of their top selling US model due to tariffs. This can bring down their stock price a lot. So keep Nissan on your mind and on your radar to the downside. So let's get right into it. So Webull recently came out with their announcements. They were trading at $9, literally $9, and then we rallied all the way up. Especially if you would have traded it yesterday, you start maybe even right here. You see the bullish momentum at that $30 level. You would have doubled your money literally, and probably even made a little bit more. But Webull, they have a lot of things. They surged 300% after their merger. So mainly it's a reversal merger with SK Group, and that really just brought their stock up a bunch. If you guys don't use Webull, I mean, I personally use it sometimes too. I used to use it for the charts until I found TradingView. TradingView is just a little bit easier and a little bit more user friendly to say. I mean, Webull is too, but you can just customize TradingView a little bit more. So first off, let's look at the SPY. I'm going to be giving you guys some better levels later on some YouTube shorts. So if you guys are interested in day trading, swing trading, anything like that, I'll be giving you guys better levels a little bit later once market opens. But pre-market levels, so I'll be looking at that 540. We can break above that 540, 541.5, 542.5. If we break above the highs from yesterday of 544.5, I will be looking at that 550 level if we can get up there. To the downside, 537.5, 535, and that 530 level. Apple, I'm personally investing in Apple right now. I got some swing trades for Apple, and I might even day trade it just because you can make a little bit more money than SPY right now, because SPY is just overpriced for their options. But to the downside, I'll be looking at that 202, that $200 level, that 198, 195, and then that 190. To the upside, that 206 level is going to be key, 208, 212.8, and then that 219 to 220. With that being said, if we zoom out a little bit more, we did get overhyped, but then we are kind of in a bearish trend, higher lows, and then we're making another one, so we can probably even form another one down and probably get to the levels that we were at like last week, that 198 level. So look at it right now to the downside, unless we get some better news. We might even get like a little bit of a downtrend first, and then might spike up, maybe make a new higher high, and or we might just keep on going down, make another higher low, and then keep on bouncing down. So honestly, just have your patience with this one. We are in a bearish trend. It is probably more probable to play a put option, but with that being said, just take your time, see how it's really moving. And also news can really change this. News really changes any stock right now, especially with tariffs, and tariffs is affecting Apple a lot. So keep that on your mind, on your radar for Apple. Nvidia, so Nvidia has been kind of holding strong. We did get that bounce up from the chip, or the electronics thing that came out over the weekend, sorry, but now we've been bearish just like Apple. So same thing, just look at it to the downside first, but if we don't get downside, we might even get upside depending on how the market looks. But to the downside, 110, 108.5, 107, and that 105 level. To the upside, that 111.5, 112.5, 114, 114.5, and the highs of 115.5. You break above that, look at 120 for your next key level. Tesla has been pretty bearish a little bit, but we've kind of just been up and down, as you guys can see. So kind of just use these lines. So I think looking at that 245 all the way up to that 260 level, kind of just bouncing up and down from there. So if you see it at 260 and we don't break that 260, you can buy a put option. And then if you see it down at that 245 to that 240 level, it bounces down and you see it bounce up, you buy a call option. Honestly, I think that's the easiest way to play Tesla right now. You can look at some other levels too, but I think just these two levels are key, because we've just been bouncing like a lot off of these, especially like market opens, bounced off. You could have bought a put option, made a lot of money. Same thing to the upside. You see it bounce up, you can buy a call option. So you can really just play it up and down. So keep that in mind for Tesla. With that being said, the stock heat map, we're not looking too bad. Some in the green, some in the red. We got Broadcom, Amazon, Meta, all these down. And then you got the major key stocks like Apple. Nvidia is doing okay. Google in the green. And yeah, but for the week, we're still looking okay for the week. Well, I mean, we're looking great for the week, but we did just have like a big downward trend, and then we kind of just came back. So yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Watch some of the shorts and some other videos I come out with, and peace out, guys.